Hey guys, today is November 7th, 2017, and here's a quick update on my Cacti and Succulent collection. We start off first with some succulents that were variegated, and here we have my Silverio Rainbow number 5. If you recall, this one was purchased not too long ago. It was featured in a couple of videos back, and when I got it, it was pretty small, and the variegation was very strong. It was very bronzy, if I recall, but now it's grown quite a bit, and the variegation on some of these are quite strong, as you can see there. I like it when the variegation is divided, the leaf in half like that. I think it looks really cool. Moving on, this is my Corpuscularia lemonii. I got this one from an eBay seller from South Korea, and as you can see, it's perked up really well. This one surprisingly gets quite thirsty. I have to water it constantly, maybe every 3 days or so, and it will tell me when it needs more water, because the leaves just like respond right away. It gets wrinkly. But as you can see, I've kept up the water regimen pretty aggressively, and it's perked up really well since I've gotten it. And the variegation looks really interesting. Some of the branches are all white, and some of them are bits of yellow variegation here and there. Kind of looks like rocks or something with the different facets within the leaves. But yeah, moving on. This is my Cotyledon tementosa, or the Bearpaw Succulent, and not as vigorous as the Corpuscularia, but it's growing at least. You can see some of the new leaves are starting to form there. It's a relatively small plant. And over here we have my Cressida gracilis. I made a mistake a long time ago to subject this one to a lot of light, direct sunlight. In here in Georgia, it gets quite intense during the summer, and it killed off quite a bit of new growths. That one right there, it looks like it doesn't have any variegation on it, but we'll wait and see. But it's doing okay now that I've kept it indoors and on the windowsill here. Next to that is my big aloe. This is the nobilis, and it's growing well. It does need a little bit of water, I think, because the leaves are kind of shrunken in a little bit. This one is a relatively new one. This is a Haworthia, and the tag is there. I've got this one a couple weeks back, I think, and it has a few babies popping out, and some of them are, looks like there might be, yeah, it looks like this one might be turning into an all white growth, which looks really cool, but I don't know if that's viable, you know, on its own. But as long as it stays on the mother plant, I think it should be okay. And over here we have my Cressida Vada, and it's looking really good. There's new leaves forming, and the variegation has become very streaky, so that's really cool. I've been keeping all my succulents indoors under LED lights. That's my setup for my orchids during the winter. I feel like it's a lot less low maintenance, because sometimes it rains here a lot, and I'm always kind of fearful that it gets too much water and rot out everything. So I kept it indoors in a more controlled environment, and I think these LEDs are bringing out some of the variegation a little bit stronger. These are Haworthia's cuspidata, I think. They're babies that I pulled off from the main plant that I have, and I just want to show that some of them are variegated, like that one. So that's really cool. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with all these, because I really don't need that many duplicates in my collection, but I might give it away to somebody or something. Maybe to my coworkers. But yeah, I've potted them up in this communal pot, and maybe when they get bigger they will get their own pot. But I am definitely keeping some of them, because the variegated ones are really nice, especially that one and the one next to it. A couple of people have asked me for an update on my pink Craptobetalum that I got from South Korea, and this is what's left of it. As you can see, there's quite a bit of dieback that happened recently. I think the change from that environment to here was quite a bit for it to adjust. So I lost a lot of leaves, and I was afraid that I might lose it. I started moving it to different places to see if I can maybe have it grown closer to what it was, and so far it seems like it likes the LED lights the best, but in that time that I moved it different places, it lost a lot of the pigment, the pink pigment, and it has a little bit of the green tones developing the leaves. So right now I'm keeping it here under this very strong LED light that I have for my water culture orchids, to see if I can bring out that pink pigment better, because I don't want to leave it outside, because I have this lingering fear that I might like just die or something, eats you know, some leaves or something like that. So I'm keeping a very close eye on it. I really don't want it to die. Yeah, so that's it. Well, at least it's still growing, so it's not dead yet. Okay, here's a look at the rest of my succulents that I've been keeping under LED lights indoors. And I'm just gonna go over highlights. I don't think I have time to go over everything, but these are under the panels and along with these strips. I have a few orchids hanging there just because the weather has been kind of cold lately, so they're in here temporarily. But I think I'm gonna keep them under these lights indefinitely because I have a little more control over them as far as watering and light, because sometimes here in the summer it gets quite a bit wet, and that's just like asking for rotting issues. But here I can control a little bit better. I do want to note that these LED panels that I was using to overwinter my orchids are very strong, and they dry out the soil quite quickly, so I actually have to water it more inside than outside because they dry up pretty quickly. And also my soil mix is quite porous, and they don't hold a lot of moisture, so they have a very good drainage. Alright, so as far as the plants, everyone here is doing really well. I got this new one. This is the Echeveria Black Prince, I think, and it looks kind of dark on here falsely because of the LED panels, the spectrum it produces, and the limitations of my camera. But it's almost black. It does have some green pigments near the stem, but other than that, it's, you know, I think it could be darker, but this is what I get for growing them under LEDs, I guess. It's doing well. It has I thought this was going to be an inflorescence, but it turns out to be just another like offset, I think. But it's doing well. Here is my Atromyscus hemisphericus that sent out this inflorescence. It's already dried up right now. I should probably cut it off. These are the bigger ones, and they tend to need a little bit more light than the other ones. I have some up here that's, I haven't turned on the panels because it's pretty strong, and these guys are, since they're a little bit closer, they can just deal with the strips for now. But I do turn the panels on every now and then, but I have to be careful because they do dry out the soil very quickly, and sometimes too much, and my succulents are like desiccated. I've lost a few due to like not really realizing that the soil has been dry for like weeks. But yeah, just a few of the smaller succulents. As an Echeveria, I think it might be dying, but I think there's a developing dry rot on the stem there. So yeah, that might be a goner. But here's my two Agaridermas. They're doing well. The rest are doing pretty well too. This one is a new one. This is a Haworthia spring box something. I just got it like literally a few days ago. This Echeveria Lovely Rose, doing well. My Malaria Plumosa, it's growing a little bit taller. Here's my Echinopsis, some sort of Domino's cactus. It had developed a bloom, but then it fell off because I wasn't watering it. I forgot about it. Next to that is my giant no ID sedum of some sort. It lost all the leaves because I wasn't watering it again. The LED panels are very powerful and dries out everything very quickly. So especially at this height too, very close to them. So I only keep them on every other day or something like that. But here's the Bearpaw, the Calida tomentosa, is doing well. And here's a quick update on some of the Mesop succulents that I've started from seed a while back. We're currently at month 5 on these two. The one on the left is my Myrophytum myri, and it looks like they're sprouting some new set of leaves for the winter. So we'll be seeing some bunny ears soon, I hope. These guys, I have topped them off with a little bit more soil, and have dressed them with a little bit more aquarium gravel, just to sort of help prop them up, because since they got bigger, they've been falling over a lot. And over here, my Lapidary Margarita. There's still 3 left, and there's a little runt, the green runt that you see there. They're not really looking like they're adult size, so maybe they have a little more ways to go, but the adult ones, they sort of split in the middle, but these, as you can see, they don't do that. Since my success with those two, I've decided to try a few other ones 2 months later after that. So these guys are at month 4, I think, around that time. First one here is the Monolaria moniliformis, and as you can see, they're starting to push out their first set of true leaves. And this particular one right here, the largest one, looks like bunny ears. I read online that this particular species is kind of hard to cultivate, so I'm having to keep a very close eye on them. And over here we only have one survivor, but this is a Aguirderma subalbum, and I'm kind of waiting for it to develop its first set of true leaves. And also it should put out some silvery green pigment on the skin, but maybe this one doesn't have enough sunlight, or it's not mature enough to develop that pigment. But yeah, it's looking really good at the moment. And over here we have my Lithops, Rubra variety Opteka, and he's slowly pushing out a new set of leaves. His first set. It's supposed to be purple, but as you can see, it's quite green. There's a little companion right here. I think I need to put something top of it. As you can see, the root is kind of exposed. But I don't know if that one's going to make it. Well, maybe after I top it up with more soil, it will. But we just have those two. In the next pot, we have some Lithops pseudo truncatella. I have quite a few of these, and some of them are actually starting, well, as far as I can tell, there are a new set of leaves coming out. And over here, we have Lithops verruculosa variety Rose of Texas. So these ones are famous because they produce like a rosy reddish tone flowers, which is a little bit unusual because most Lithops flowers are, I think, white. And I have quite a few of these. We got a good yield on that packet of seeds. And last but not least are just 2 survivors of this lot. This is the Conophytum bilobum, and they're just progressing along. They're really small still. But yeah, those are my Mesop succulents. They're still quite small. This is one of my Haworthia cooperi. It's putting out quite a bit of side growths. I'm sort of waiting on them to mature a little bit before I take them off. But yeah, these I have 2 of them. I have two different cultivars. This one also is putting out side growths and pot them up on their own, but they look really nice right now. That's my Haworthia cuspidata that has produced so many pups that I've removed into the clay pot. As you can see, it's producing a inflorescence at the moment, or next to it, actually a few more of its babies. So this one is very prolific in developing new growths. Everything else is doing okay, nothing major to report, so I'm not going to really talk about those guys. But I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, so I guess I'll end up the video here. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.